Hey guys, welcome back to Mummy Cooks Homemade, and this is what we eat in a week. So, this was, what was it? Oh, that was Steve's risotto. It was done differently, not in the same pan as ours, which is why it looks different. That was the homemade tomato soup I made. There is the recipe already out. That's tomato and bacon soup. Cheese toasters, obviously. So that is already out. It came out last week. This is homemade fish and chips. Gotta have them. Got to have them. That has become a favourite in the house, even for me who doesn't like fried fish from the chippy. This was steak teriyaki. Don't know why I just said teriyaki, but there you go. Steak teriyaki with noodles. Homemade, obviously. This was just some chicken thighs, new potatoes and rabbit food. Here we have some prep. I think this was a sweetheart cabbage. Yeah, I'm sure it was. So, I don't show the video. It was mini meringues. I have done a meringue video already. You will find it in the Christmas list if you would like the meringue recipe. It was essentially the same, just different fruit. So I can link that should anybody want that. I just did mini meringues, that's all, so I didn't bother showing it. I do continue to show the prep maybe every other time we have a Sunday lunch, because I'm constantly getting new subscribers, so I just like to show them as well how I prep for a Sunday dinner. So at the end of this video, this Sunday lunch video, you noticed it's got quite a bit behind it. It's the Christmas cakes, and I keep chucking my veg on the floor. So yeah, after this Sunday lunch is the Christmas cakes video. Show you how I'll make those. I've got 4 to make this year. So just doing potatoes for the roasters and a few for mash. I would say in this house roast potatoes far outweigh the mashed potato when it comes to a Sunday dinner. What else was I going to say? Can't think now. So I've parboiled these and I'm just going to coat them now, as I always do. Or if I don't do it, it's because I'm being lazy. But I usually always do. I should have got these potatoes as soon as they're finished cooking, but I had to sit down, so they're a little bit drier so the coating don't stick as well. Ideally you want to drain these and then start to coat them, because then they'll pick up more of the coating. For any members who hasn't seen it, I did put a video in the members yesterday while I was doing the prep, just a update on myself, anything health related, just so everyone's up to date. Just a general waffle, to be honest. I think a lot of you have seen it, I'm not sure, but it's on the members anyway for those that are members. Anyone that would like to become a member, there is a link underneath on how to do that. And should you choose so, thank you very much. Just helps to support the channel. So that beef was nice. The cost of beef now, I tell you. Steve managed to snag this one as I was putting the yellow labels on. So he paid 10 instead of 20 quid. Couldn't believe it. I remember this time last year, even a tenner was quite a lot. But, whatever. Sign of the times, isn't it? So I'm just putting some onion so that it flavours the juices that come out of the meat, therefore it flavours my gravy. Don't do much really for the actual beef itself. So I find if you've got a nice flavourful gravy, that certainly helps. So bank holiday today, let me know down in the comments, guys, how you spending your bank holiday. We're not doing anything today. Well, say we. The kids are going to a friend's for a few hours with Steve. So they'll get out the house for a few hours. And when do your kids go back to school? Because the lovely Fiona, they have people who know what I mean by that. Fiona's children have 9 weeks off. Can you believe that? In summer. Oh, that'd terrify us over here in England. I'm sure it would. That was the dinner Sunday. There's the stuffing with the sausage, pork and apple sausage, the meat. That was what meat was left. So I'm going to show you and not give you measurements because all the measurements will be below. As with most things, just cream this well. You get to the point where you cream it and then you add eggs to it and it looks like a split mess. Don't worry about that. You get that quite a lot when you cream butter and sugar and add eggs to it, so yeah, don't worry about it. Also, there is 1 tablespoon of treacle in this recipe, which is coming next, which can, if you're in America and you want to try this recipe, be swapped out for blanched molasses, which just happens to be what I'm using this time because I'm not buying a tub of treacle just for the cakes. You see the change in colour? That's purely because of the blanched molasses, or treacle if you've got treacle in. I would have used treacle if I had it in, but it really does give it a dark colour, and as you feed that cake after it's cooked once a week with whichever alcohol you choose to feed it with, it gets darker and darker and darker. And I find a lot of Christmas cakes that you can buy are quite pale. They're not dark at all. There's no depth to them. So this cake doesn't contain a lot of basic ingredients. The main contents of a traditional tradition, they're the spices listed below. The traditional English Christmas cake and Christmas pudding. Wow, what a tongue twister at 10 o'clock in the morning. Packed. That's all the flour that goes into this. Packed with fruit and nuts. That's what makes them so good. So this cake is cooked, as most Christmas cakes are, on a very low heat for 3 hours. Each oven is different, guys, and each size cake tin, you may decide to put this into 2 smaller cake tins than what I used. You see what I mean? Or a bigger one. So, I mean, it's entirely up to you which size you put it in. But just remember that the cooking instructions will change. Mine went in for 3 hours. And I leave them to cool overnight in the tin. I think mine finished cooking at 12:30, 12:30 midnight. So you can see we're starting now with the nuts and fruit. Yeah, so it finished about 12:30 AM and I just left them to cool down in their tins, covered up in their original wrapping. So I've got 800 grams of fruit going in here, just from the mixed dried fruit. Christmas cake was actually one of my first recipes I did before I started doing voiceovers. So you can see the amount of fruit that's in there now. And when I recorded it, I lifted it up while it was still going round and got splattered everywhere. And I left it in the video because I thought it was funny. So if you're interested in watching the original video, that is still in my videos. I didn't take it down. It's just that back in the days when, you know, when you're first starting, sometimes I was talking when the mixer was on, and yeah, so it did need redoing. So you can see, for anyone that's American that is not used to these Christmas cakes, how packed they are with fruit. So I have put a full sheet of lining in. That's a full-size piece of greaseproof. Proof across the bottom, going up the sides. Then I've folded a full sheet into 3 and put it around the outside on one side. This is to protect the cake so it's not touching the side of the tin. No matter how much protection you put on this, and there's another one for the other side, because it's cooked for so long, even though it's a low temperature and it's got so much fruit, which contains sugar obviously, you do get a little bit of darkening on the edges of the cake, like you do when you bake a normal cake. It's slightly darker than the rest of the cake, but it tastes no different. You'll see it. I filled this one. This is the smaller one. So this is, I can't remember the size of this. I'll put it below. I get fed up there. Yeah, dump it in. So yeah, and then I used the circle disc that I used to put on the bottom of my normal sponge cakes. I use that to cover the tops. You must cover the tops, otherwise it's going to burn. You can use a piece of foil if you want, or greaseproof, it's entirely up to you. But make sure you've got them sides covered as well, so it's not in contact with that tin. So I haven't put all the mixture in there, but it is a perfect size. See what I mean? Just on the raisins, look. But you can see it is not burnt at all. And as I feed this weekly, I'm going to stab it all over with a skewer. Sounds a bit brutal, but... And then I'm going to feed it a cap of brandy every week for about 6 to 8 weeks. So yeah, any questions, put them down in the comments, guys. Don't forget to let me know what you're doing on this bank holiday. And yeah, I'll speak to you later. Bye.